Hello and welcome to the latest episode of GAMFT. G3 here in a very hot and sweaty Salt Lake City, Utah. It is 97 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 36 for those of you in the European areas, or Canada, I suppose, or anywhere else that's not America, because, you know, we like to be different, I suppose. But it's swelteringly hot here, dry, thankfully, so it doesn't feel quite as hot as it would do back in a slightly more moist climate. But I thought it was fitting to record this in the heat of the day, given that this episode is our discussion about Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, the sequel? Not a remake, I guess it is a sequel, isn't it? To the film in the 90s with Robin Williams. And we talked about this back in, when was it? Whenever it came out, pretty much. We had a pretty good discussion about it. Both of us enjoyed it to a fair extent, it was actually quite an enjoyable discussion that we had. I will join you again at the end for a little wrap up, but for now, enjoy Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
Way down deep in the middle of the Congo, a hippo took an every caught the rover on the mango. He stuck it with the others and he danced a dingy tango. The rhino said, I know, we'll call it Umbango.
Finally. No, never mind. The Rock's in
because the Rock's in it, sorry. It's like, how is that even relevant?
So this week we both saw the blockbuster new movie, which seems to be doing really well. I saw it advertised yesterday as the #1 movie in the US and countries around the world, was how they'd phrased it.
Nondescript.
Yeah. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, which is a sequel or continuation. Is it even a sequel, really? I suppose it is, but there's none of the same characters.
I suppose it is because of the nature of it's literally that box on the beach at the start, isn't it?
True.
Before the box decides to be a video game.
Yeah, which I hadn't seen Jumanji in a long, long time. Did they end by throwing it into the ocean?
I also have not seen it in a very, very long time.
Okay.
There's a game called Jumanji that has a life all its own.
You have no idea what you are getting yourself into.
An ancient game where the primitive spirit of the jungle can leap out and take hold of your world.
I've seen things you can't even imagine.
I literally don't know that I've seen it since the cinema.
Yeah, I'm not sure I have either. Maybe on video, but not long after. And literally on video, at someone's house. But it wasn't at my house. We didn't have videos like that.
I was about to say, just to say that he did not own Jumanji on video, at someone's house.
If it was at my house, it was recorded off of TV. Let's put it that way, because we did. Okay. The only pre-recorded videos we had were The Jungle Book, Car Wars 6, True Lies. And that's the end.
What a random collection. Jungle Book, though, one of the best films of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
What the hell was Car Wars 6?
Car Wars 6. There were a series of mail-order videos that were essentially motorsports crashes with wacky commentary over the top.
Have a pen and paper ready to order the following product by phone. Can you survive the all-smashing, all-crashing Car Wars 3? Thrills and spills, incidents and accidents, near misses and miraculous escapes, all from top professional motorsports. Cars, bikes, boats, so spectacular you can almost smell the burning rubber.
I got one for Christmas one time.
Number 6.
Yeah, Car Wars 6, yeah.
Car Wars 3.
Love it.
I think I got Car Wars 7 as well, at some point. It's probably somewhere in a box at my mother's house at the moment.
True Lies because
we borrowed it off of Aid and never gave back.
He's still hot about that. You know?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
When are you going to give me my copy of True Lies back?
Next time I come back, next time I come visit you, I'm gonna get it, and then I'm gonna get a PAL VHS player so I can watch it. Damn it!
Yeah.
I stretched that tape. I watched it so much that it was ruined.
It's not a bad flick.
No, I enjoy it. It's a shame they made the sequel with Bruce Willis instead of Arnie. Die Hard 4, wasn't that originally supposed to be a True Lies sequel?
Oh, was it? No, I didn't know that.
I thought so. I could be making this up completely, or maybe I'm thinking this because I remember at the time thinking this seems more like True Lies because it's the same concept, you know. Kid gets kidnapped, he has to get him back, rides on a plane. There's a fair amount of similarities to True Lies as there are to that Die Hard movie.
Yeah, I'd never really thought about it.
Yeah,
but you could be right. I don't.
I feel like I read it somewhere at some point, but yeah, I couldn't swear authoritatively.
This is like me. I was certain that Gary Oldman died last year.
Oh, I'm glad he didn't. But he's just been in a blockbuster Winston Churchill movie.
Well, no, I thought that was his last film. I honestly did. But then he's kind of like he's been promoted for interviews for it, and I was like, those must have been recorded when it came out. And was doing festivals and things. And now he's actually, like, I've seen him alive on television, and it's really weird. It's like a parallel dimension thing. I am absolutely certain I heard that he died last year, and I was really sad about it.
Oh, that's a shame. I'm glad he's alive, but you can just go through the grief all over again when he dies at the end of this year.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I honestly don't know where that came from, though. And I think I might have mentioned it on here, but I know I've mentioned it to people, and people have agreed with me because they must assume that I know these things.
Weird.
It's just so weird. I was certain Gary Oldman died.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Anyway.
That. Okay. So yes, back to Jumanji.
Back to Jumanji.
Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot of interest in this when I saw the trailer.
Well, this is a fun group. Welcome to detention. Spencer, Bethany, Fridge, Martha. You're all here for a reason.
Hey, person walking.
You should be thinking about who you are and who you want to be. You'll have plenty of time to figure that out while you're cleaning out the basement.
Are you gonna help, or are you too pretty? I'm too pretty.
Yo, what's this?
A game for those who seek to find a way to leave their world behind. Jumanji.
For it, aside from The Rock being in it, because I'll watch anything with him in. And then a few people went to see it with a similar kind of, okay, I'll go see it, but I'm not super interested in it, and came out saying it was really good and enjoyed it. So we went to see it earlier this week. Monday, I think. Or maybe last Saturday. No, it was last Saturday. Never mind. So it's been about a week since I've seen it.
I remember it happening.
Yeah, it's been about a week since I've seen it. And you went to see it earlier today, correct?
This morning.
This morning, okay.
Early this morning. I went to see Jumanji, and I bought my science oven. Those are the two things I've done today.
Explain for the good folks what a science oven is. Also known as a big box of radiation.
Big box of radiation. I've never had one in my house, and it is a microwave oven. But actually, before we get back into Jumanji, let's go on our second side wander of the thing. Okay. Tell me what a microwave oven does and how it does it.
A microwave oven uses microwave radiation to excite the water particles in a given piece of whatever you put in it, using magnetron, and the extreme vibration and heat of those water particles heats the thing up.
And how does it do it?
By exciting the water particles through use of microwave radiation on a particular frequency.
So, does the thing sit still while it's doing it?
What thing? The
item you are exciting the water particles?
No, most of them will rotate.
This doesn't rotate.
It doesn't rotate?
No.
My mother's doesn't rotate. It doesn't even have a spinny disc deal in it.
No, this doesn't have one. It's crazy.
Huh. That's interesting because hers is because hers is really old and yours is brand new. That's funny. I thought it was just because she had a really old one. I'm guessing. So I think the reason that they used to spin is that the magnetron, therefore the source of radiation, was on one side. So it needed to spin.
It's actually called a magnetron?
It's actually called a magnetron. No.
That's amazing.
Isn't that great? I know, it's a fantastic word.
I think we're just kind of doing a negatized type joke.
No. So I think that what it was doing was that the source of that radiation was coming from one point, and you didn't want it to cook unevenly, so it rotated so that they all got all sides got the same exposure to it or similar exposure to it over the time period. Maybe they've made those things smaller, and they're able to put them on multiple sides now, so it's able to get at it, and it doesn't need to spin anymore.
I'll let you know. Either that, or I'm gonna have uneven soup.
Yes, yeah. Let me know if your soup is uneven. I'll be impressed. How you can tell whether your soup is uneven, I'll be astonished by it.
We don't let it move too much, so that the cold side stays too cold and the hot side stays hot. But yeah, I think they call it a flatbed or something along those lines. And,
it's nice, less cleaning, because that's where they get gunky, is when you get spillages and it gets on the turntable and stuff.
Turntable.
Yeah.
I just bought a record player as well, so I could combine the two and have a regular science oven.
Don't put your turntable in the science oven. Oh, really?
I've stolen that from something. Science oven is a. I think Jennifer Lawrence says it in something.
Oh, okay.
I think she informed someone not to put metal in the science oven.
I put metal on the side. Oh, it's freezing out. Sean, do whatever.
Whoa! Another fire!
No, Danny, not that one. That one's empty. We gotta use the big one.
I told you not to put metal in the science oven. What'd you do that for?
Don't make such a big deal. Just get another one.
Is it that movie where she makes the mop or whatever?
Makes the mop?
I don't remember this. I remember this movie coming out, but like she makes some kind of invention, and I thought it was a mop. But now I'm thinking I'm being horribly sexist by assuming that a woman invented a mop.
Wait, because a man can't invent a mop? Like, who are you being sexist against? Jennifer Lawrence can do whatever she wants.
She can, that's true. I think it was oh shit, I can't remember the director now, but it all seemed, it was like set in the 60s, and she was all, "Don't you ever take my invention or speak on my behalf again," and it was all like pensive shots.
That does ring a bell.
Yeah, what was that?
Joy?
Joy, there you go, yeah.
I never saw that one. I think that might have been... That was David O. Russell, I think.
David O. Russell, that's it, yeah.
I think the one I'm thinking of was David O. Russell, but I think it was a bit more ensemble cast type David O. Russell film.
Okay.
Possibly American Hustle, possibly... I don't think it was American Hustle. What was the one where Robert De Niro was doing his shtick? And
that is Robert De Niro. Hold on.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you.
There we go. Yeah, anyway, that film. So if you're going to drop in a quote of it and cut all this bullshit, you can just go looking for "Don't put metal in the science oven."
Okay, I wasn't being sexist. So she, this time, she had attempted some. Yeah, okay, all right, start again. Joy returns home after some things happen and creates blueprints for a self-ringing mop. So it is about a woman inventing a mop.
The movie where Jennifer Lawrence invented the mop.
Yeah, that's right. A self-ringing mop. What are your thoughts on her? Do you like her?
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah, me too. I really enjoy her in the Hunger Games movies. I feel like she's a bit overused and yet underutilized in the X-Men movies.
Yeah, she doesn't really want to be there, I don't think. I think she's out of contract now, so I don't think you'll see her again.
So,
yeah.
Sorry, so did you want to get back to Jumanji?
Yeah, well, we can carry on about Jennifer Lawrence.
All right. No, I think she's pretty decent. A good actress from what I've seen.
I think she's yet to make her defining film.
Yeah, probably.
If I'm honest. Like, I think she's got, maybe as she gets a little bit older and stuff, she'll definitely mature into being that one who can really knock it out of the park. Whereas I think, potentially with American Hustle a little bit, she felt like she was sort of dressing up a bit to the rest of the actors.
Yeah,
you
I
had
remember
Amy Adams and Christian Bale and Jeremy Renner.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, they're all a bit older, and so she just seemed a bit.
I remember
young by comparison.
I remember the RLM guy saying something similar, that she kind of looked like she was playing dress up.
Yeah. Anyway, should we get back to Jumanji again?
Sure. Yeah.
There you go.
What are you drinking?
I've already opened my beer. I have a small thing of Ribena left. I was going to make tea, but I didn't have time to make tea.
Okay.
I've got that, and I've got Elvis juice.
Elvis juice. Okay.
Elvis juice.
Some kind of IPA, yeah. Grapefruit infused IPA.
Here we go.
It should be like fried bananas and bacon.
It's early Elvis, not.
Oh, okay, all right, fair enough. It's like this army diet.
This is 6.5%, and I've got 2 more out there from the same range. One's called Jackhammer, and one is called Mr. President. They're both much stronger than this, so I won't do this one.
Fantastic. So
sorry,
what was that?
I almost bought a bottle of tequila for this as well, and I just thought, let's just get nailed when Jared talks about stuff and then see how drunk I am by the end of it.
That'd be pretty fun.
We'll do that in one of these. We'll play. Right. Let's see how drunk Mark can get. But today is it's still relatively early today.
Well, also we'll not just do media on that one as well. We'll pick some kind of like philosophical article to do, and we'll do that last.
Where I can get all like, why are people nasty again?
Yeah, absolutely. I like that idea. Okay. So you saw it this morning.
I saw it this morning.
Did you see any decent trailers before it?
Black Panther and the Maze Runner Death Cure, or whatever it's called. Those are the only 2 I remember, because the kid behind me said, "Oh, this is Black Panther," and I was like, "Those people couldn't be whiter." And then eventually he was right. Like, he was a precog, and he knew it was coming next. Not that was that.
Did you get a little bit of Stan Lee talking about Black Panther?
No.
We got a little bit of Stan Lee talking about Black Panther, like a sit-down interview type thing where he described the creation of it. But I don't know whether that was that they played this thing. They used to call it what do they used to call it? Just like the pre-show or something like that. I can't remember what they used to call it, but it's called Nuvi now, which is a terrible name. Nuvi, I think is how they spell it.
No.
And it's just a series of ads. Sometimes it's extended trailer bits. So like, here's something that's coming either for TV or film. And then there's other things where it's just like an extended ad. Like, who was it? I think it's Toyota or some car manufacturer has a really depressing "Don't text and drive" ad right now. It might have been one of the networks, actually. It might have been AT&T. I think it's AT&T. And so like the way it starts off, and it's a dad in the car with some girls he's obviously driving home, and one of them's his daughter, I think. And then he gets a call, like you keep seeing he gets texts and his phone's in his cup holder, but he's kind of glancing down at it but not picking it up. And then he gets a call, or he calls his wife who's been texting him, but he's pulled over and calling, doing the responsible thing. He sets off again, and the phone's still vibrating. The wife tells him that the dog's got out or something like that. The gate got left open, and then there's a little boy in the back, and the little boy is like, "Oh, when did you get in?" And he said his phone goes off, and he says, "Oh, you're going to answer that?" And he's like, "No, never when there's a kid in the car." And he's like, "Well, I'm not here." And then he pulls down, he lifts up his phone, and he goes, "I'm there." And there's like a slow motion thing of a kid chasing a ball into the road, and it's really depressing. Do you remember those sorts of ads? There was that one from a few years ago where there was the girl who was a corpse who went in back and rewind. Yeah. So.
Wow, that's really that gag kind of gave me a little bit of chills, because I knew what was coming. I thought he was going to be like the dead boy in the back of the car. And he was going to be and then like come the driver or whatever. But nice setup for a horror movie.
Yeah,
there was one of those on here over Christmas on television, which was the message was all over the shop because it kind of got it wrong. But it was now what was it? There was a couple of friends in a car, and I can't remember which way round it was, whether it was anti-drinking or anti-texting.
Oh, okay.
But one of them was like about to pull away, and they were either fiddling with their phone or they'd had a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
And the other one was like, "Look, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? Just let me do it." And then the other one got in, but the other one had been doing the opposite. So it was its message ended up being a bit like it's better to drink and drive than text and drive, or the other way around. And it's like,
if you're going to do one, do this one.
I can't remember what it was.
It's weird.
Maybe go looking for it on YouTube, because it was, but its message was real wonky. But no, given the allegations that came out this week against Stan Lee.
Oh, they did?
If that trailer exists, it probably isn't being shown anymore.
Dang it. Really? Another one? Oh.
Another one.
Well, that's depressing. But Black Panther still looks really good.
Black Panther looks dope as fuck.
It does. It looks fantastic.
I'm trying to do a complete rewatch of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe in preparation for it.
Oh, okay.
And if I don't make it in time, then I was never doing it for Black Panther, and I'm doing it for Infinity War.
Okay.
By myself a couple of months.
All right.
But at the moment,
when's Black Panther out? Is it March?
Start February.
Start February.
Mid-February.
That's really, you got to hammer through them then. There's quite a few.
Yeah. I've really got it. I've piled them all up upstairs now, and I watched Hulk last night. But
cool.
I'm only 2 in, so
you got them in the right order.
Yeah.
Cool.
Actually piled them up in the right order because I had to figure out what I was missing, so I can just grab them and throw them on either down here or up there or wherever I am.
Nice.
Like if there's, that point where you're like, oh, I don't want to watch. I'll just watch just any old bullshit. You just like put a Marvel on.
Yep. Put a Marvel on. Yep. Crank through them.
Put a Marvel on. The only thing is I don't have. What am I missing? I'm missing. My copy of Guardians is somewhere. I must have lent it to someone. Mm-hmm. I don't own Guardians 2, Homecoming, or Ant-Man.
Okay.
2 of the 3 of those are on the Netflixes and things. Yeah. And I think Spider-Man might be out just in time. And Thor Ragnarok, I think, comes out on video after Black Panther comes out. So I'll probably have to run on memory for that.
Okay.
But that's fun.
Cool. Yeah, I think those were pretty much the trailers we got. The other one was we got that bloody awful one that we went looking at the other week for I think I've forgotten the name of it again. It's called like Brave or something like that. The one about the wolves and the men.
Oh yeah, I never looked that up.
Yes,
or never watched it.
It's bullshit. But yeah, I think that was pretty much it. It was pretty full when we were there.
It's pretty full today, actually.
Weird, huh? Yeah.
I've got some audience notes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I made it while the credits were running, while it was playing like "Welcome to the Jungle,"
Yeah.
I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 notes.
Oh, marvelous. Okay.
Which is my whole series of notes, and probably going to be the extent of my memory of this film.
I have no notes for it either, but I'm just relying on my memory.
Okay.
So it opens on the beach. Is that where we first see it? Is that what we see initially?
Yeah. Doesn't the in 1996?
Yeah.
Big letters, old school font. 1996, dad running along the beach finds the box, takes it home, is like, hey son, look what I found. And the son's like, that's lame.
Yeah, like not red.
That ain't fly.
That's bogus.
Bogus. It's so bogus. That's what he would have said. And then he puts it on the thing and puts it on the stand, and then in the middle of the night it turns into a video game. What did you make of It's 1996?
It's 1996 was fine from a graphics perspective on the video game, but the rest of it looked like 1986.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's not faulty memories, right? He was like a metalhead from an 80s movie.
Yeah, he had. I'm just looking it up. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's in an Excess album cover. But he had 2 copies of the poster on his wall.
And did he really? Huh.
Ain't nobody having 2 copies of that.
No.
Album cover. I think it was in an Excess one anyway. The 2 heads, and I can't. I think it was in Excess. That's what my brain said at the time.
Wasn't he dead by that point?
I remember buying an in Excess single.
Oh, really?
So.
I thought he died in the mid-90s, but I could be wrong.
Oh well, that's yeah. I mean, yeah. Maybe that's why he's got 2 copies of it.
Could be.
Give me a sec. I should have looked this up before now.
He died in 97, so yeah.
Okay, there you go. I remember I definitely had one of their songs on CD, which means it would have been later anyway, because I didn't have a CD till 95, I don't think.
Gotcha.
But no, the weird thing is this guy should be me, age-wise, I think.
I think you're right, yeah. Yeah, he's about your age, yeah.
So, oh no, maybe it isn't In Excess. I've just brought up their album covers on here, and it's not.
See, I mean, In Excess, they weren't really metal, were they? They were kind of more indie rock type stuff.
He had a lot of bullshit on those walls that wasn't.
That's true. But he kind of self-identifies as a metalhead, doesn't he?
He does. He does later on after he says something's gnarly, and I was kind of like, surely gnarly came back because I both still and have started using gnarly again.
It definitely came back. Yeah, it was around in the early 2000s. But so he finds he gets the game. He's like, that's whack, Dad. And then
I hope he actually says whack.
Then overnight it turns into a cartridge. I had a bit of a problem with that because he clearly had a PS1 controller. I mean, this is nitpicky bullshit, but
no, I have my first note, if you want it, is forced generational disparity and cynical brand inclusion.
Okay, fair enough. What's the cynical bland inclusion?
Well, there's your title.
There's your title.
We'll get to that because that's... Oh, no, here we are. I found the album cover. Oh, it's Pink Floyd. Wow, how did I confuse Pink Floyd and INXS? That's really weird. But he had 2 copies of that, if that's the album cover. It was called Division Bell. Huh. That was the one. I thought it was an INXS cover, but there must have been something I'm putting in my head to make that wrong. Anyway, a cynical brand inclusion is more in the now than then.
Okay.
But it did bother me a little bit, and we'll get to that. But yeah, obviously he's playing a Sony. It's a Sony movie.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, what if this guy had more than one games console, and one of them looked like an Atari from the late 70s?
Right. Yeah.
Because wood.
It is wood. Exactly. It's wood, and it's got the cartridge that sticks out the top and everything. I mean, it's like it's before our era. It's that Pong, Galaga, Centipede, era, Atari 2600 type stuff. Yeah, Pitfall, sure, yeah.
But when the cartridge came out, I was like, oh, cool, it's like fucking N64 or whatever.
Yeah,
they could have got away with.
They absolutely could have, but they shouldn't have made it a wooden console.
Yeah. It did seem like forced generational disparity, like to kind of signal him out as whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he gets sucked into game, doesn't he? And then we go from there.
Yes, he gets sucked into the game, and then we flash forward to present day, and our hero.
Spencer is our hero, is he? Okay.
Anyone played by The Rock, Proxy played by The Rock is got to be the hero, right?
Fair enough. That's where we get into cynical shit.
Bland inclusion.
Cyclical bland inclusion.
Okay.
Because everyone's got their Sony phone, and Spencer's room is basically just some form of Sony outlet shop. Where he's got like all the posters are for Sony video games or Sony products or whatever, and or like there's a bit where he goes to I'm just going to grab my keys, and he's got that giant Dave and Buster's cup.
I saw the Dave and Buster's cup. Yeah, I wonder what that was about.
And I was like, there we go. No, it's because they got to get some more brands in. They get some brands in there.
Yeah.
And that was the point where I was just a bit like, this is going to piss me off.
Yeah.
If it's going to keep going down this road, this is going to piss me off.
They can't really do that once they're in the game, though.
Well, that's what I thought after a while. I was kind of like, actually, maybe they're front-loading this because after a while they can't.
Right.
And Sony's, they've got a whole division, I should think, for that, where they're just like, tie in money, because we want to put all our own products in it, and
Right, exactly, yeah.
So, so I should think it was that. And obviously he had a PS4 and shit, didn't he? So...
Yeah. So he's like a video game nerd, but also smart kid who... he gets like a text or something from who we find out is Fridge.
Yeah, who's just like, bring it to the freak house.
Right, yeah, bring it to the freak house. And so he's like writing a paper for his buddy. Takes it to the freak house, which, I mean, to me, I had a bit of a hard time with this because the freak house, it looks so backlotty. You know what it reminded me of was...
It...
That a little bit, but deeper pulls than that. Up close, remember when we were shooting Itawari and in the basement, DL and Pasco had shot in there and there'd been a fire? And from far away, the walls looked great. They looked super scorched, but up close, you could see that it was like crayon. That's kind of what it looked like to me. It looked like, they've made that look spooky on the back lot or whatever. So it just the effect of that house didn't work super well for me, but I was like, I'm gonna run with it. But then comedy crank man comes out and he's like, you shouldn't hang around here, kid. Get out of here. And it was like from a comedy. It was almost like it was from like that character in South Park. Like, shouldn't go down that rod. It was like that guy. And
I fully expected that house to be abandoned, but then he comes out of it, and I'm just kind of like, I'm not so sure.
I bet there's an HOA, and I bet he's constantly sanctioned by them for having filthy walls and overgrowing shit,
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, 20 years. If you leave a house to go back for 20 years, it doesn't look like that.
No, maybe 70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it made me think of it like that. That whole house was over art directed because like the rest of the street looked like the street looked, and then the house looked like fucking shit. And it just it kind of bothered me a little. Also, in that section of the film, at any point did you get the sense that it was Christmas?
Not at all. Was it supposed to be Christmas?
We'll get to it.
Okay. I didn't get that. I didn't get that from any point of the movie. So that's interesting, huh? Okay.
Yeah, hang on. I need to leave myself a little quick note to come back to it.
Okay, but so at this point, I'm enjoying the movie for a fair amount. I'm like, okay, this is fine. It's all set up. We'll get there, but I'm not entirely sold yet. So
yeah, that's fair. I would think the same.
Okay.
Then they introduced us to the other two.
Yes.
The Martha, is it?
Martha, I believe is the right name. Yeah.
You meet in school, and then does it just hard cut to Bethany taking her Instagram pics and shit?
I think it does. Yeah, because they're in. Because it goes from like the gym class where she makes some good points about not having to do PE. Martha does.
Do you think she made some good points? I don't want to waste my life as a PE teacher.
I was like, it was the stuff running up to that, but I was nodding along, going, yeah, she makes some good points. I remember feeling like that in high school.
Wow, I was thinking, up her ass, bitch. Will learn her character arc. Will learn to be less up her ass about how intelligent she is and how stupid everyone else is.
I don't want to examine that too closely. Yeah, then she's like IGing her. She's not IGing, is she? She's FaceTiming or whatever.
No. But before that. She's like just woke up and she's art directed.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Little scene with a selfie stick. And stuff. But I think that was before school, obviously. But yeah, she's in the class.
That
was
a funny little scene, actually. I kind of enjoyed that scene because it seems very real.
Which one? Sorry. Oh, the
IG
one?
stuff. Yeah, where she's using the selfie stick and trying to get it.
Trying to be cool,
perfect.
like IG. Like, is that what people call it?
That's what people call it. Yeah.
I don't call it that.
Okay, let's call it Instagram for the sake of style. So she's igging all over the place, and that's nothing. That's not. No one says that.
They do actually. This you've just suddenly made sense of a hashtag I've seen, which is Igers Bristol, and I didn't know what the hell that meant.
Oh, yeah.
And it must be Instagrammers Bristol, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
it is.
I know somebody uses that all the time, and I was like, I have no idea what that is. It must be a shop or something.
So all the cool kids go to buy their
I'm not in Bristol. I don't need to go to Igers. So they're reasonably priced goods.
Their Deadpool wristbands and.
Yeah, it's like Hot Topic.
It's Hot Topic, yeah. Igers.
Get a Igers in Bristol or Birmingham or Oxford or
yeah, absolutely.
Any metropolitan centre.
York. I mean, this week Instagram is brought to you by Igers.
Igers, you know.
I didn't say
Cardiff.
Instagram. I said this week Instagram is brought to you by Igers. I meant to say this week GAMFT is brought to you by Igers.
They can sponsor whoever they want.
Yeah, absolutely they can. They got that power. So then, yeah, it goes to her recounting a breakup, I think, to her friend over.
Yeah, she's split up with the captain of the football team or whatever.
Yeah, over Sony time or whatever. The Sony.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be FaceTime, would it? It would be Sony time.
Yeah.
Sony time. They might own that song, you know. They could probably do that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
And 50% Sony.
So she gets put in detention for that because she's doing it in the middle of a test, even though she's finished the test. But clearly.
Oh yeah, why do they all get detention? She gets it for that.
She gets detention for that.
Martha gets it for being all like
for being lippy
your
and
job's
saying
worthless and you're a piece of shit.
Exactly.
And you look bad and you smell bad.
And then Fridge and is it Spencer?
Yeah.
Get it for cheating.
Writing each other's shit.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So Spencer's writing a paper for Fridge so he can stay on the football team. So they all get sent to detention, and detention turns out to be sort out this room. We're going to build we're putting like more classrooms in or something in this room.
A computer center. They're going to put a computer center in this dark and dingy basement, but for some reason they need to take the staples out of all the magazines to do it.
So, yeah, that's right.
It was so random.
And of course they're goofing off, and is it Fridge who finds it? I think Fridge finds the console, doesn't he?
I actually don't remember. It's either Fridge or Spencer.
I think
just kind of like,
yeah.
old school or whatever.
Yeah. I think Fridge finds it and they plug it in. Then they turn it on and have to select characters. And one of the characters, the first character that Spencer goes to choose is unavailable. So he moves to Dr. whatever his name is, Professor The Rock.
Professor The Rock. Smolder.
Dr. Smolder Bravestone.
Let's go. What did I say? Smolder Hardbody, which is close enough.
Yeah, something like that. He wants to choose the character.
I want to say Ace Frehley, but that's a member of Kiss.
That is a member of Kiss. Yeah, but it doesn't actually say because the Alex Wolf guy is Spencer. Yeah. Anyway.
Jonas. It was one of the Jonas boys.
Oh, Nick Jonas. Seaplane McDonough. Jefferson Seaplane McDonough.
There you go.
Alex Vreek is the actual kid's name.
Right.
And so they get sucked into the game Tron style after all selecting a character, and wake up in a jungle.
Welcome to the jungle.
And of course, the big twist, which was revealed in the trailer, is Jack Black plays a character in this film. Who does Jack Black play?
Oh, Shelley Oberon or something like that.
That's correct. Shelley Oberon, who is the avatar for the Instagram girl.
Yeah.
Bethany. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm an overweight middle-aged man.
Yeah.
He was loving himself. He was having the best time.
He was chewing up that scenery brilliantly.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed Jack Black in this, given my historical not being a massive fan.
No, he can be like School of Rock was like a low point for me.
Oh shit! Really, I was about to say that was one of the few I liked.
I didn't particularly like him in that. Pick of Destiny was fine because he was playing the Jack Black Tenacious D character, but of course his peak is Neverending Story 3.
Holy fuck! I don't even.
That's
have any frame of reference for Neverending Story 3.
Years, I think it was a straight to video, but years after him becoming famous, I remember accidentally seeing Neverending Story 3, and he's like the bad guy.
This your first day here, Squirt?
Yeah.
Well, I think it'd only be right we personally escort you to the men's room.
He's the bully in it. It's like one of his
I liked him
roles.
as one of the tech goons in Enemy of the State.
Oh yeah, he was in that, wasn't he?
Along with Seth Green and other no marks of the time.
Yeah. Interesting.
Anyway, so they're in video game, and
they
get on. They figure out video game.
Yeah, exactly. Kevin Hart plays the giant football player, but he's now short.
Ooh, wait. Can I get it? He was Mouse Smallman or something like that.
Mouse Finbar. Because they mistakenly read it as Moose in the real world, which is, that's...
Because 16-bit graphics. Get it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I for a long time thought it was the Miami Meat because of NBA Jam. And I thought that their logo, rather than being a flaming basketball, was a drumstick, a chicken drumstick.
Oh, that's amazing! Wow, you confessed that.
That's fine.
That's staying in. That's awesome. Wow, the Miami Meat.
Miami Meat, yeah.
What a team.
Thank you, NBA Jam. I was like, that's a weird name. I thought it was made up. And then Karen Gillan, who I wasn't especially familiar with, but she's also Nebula, right? From Guardians.
Yeah, she is. And she was in Doctor Who here. She's Scottish.
Yes.
She was in a horror movie over there, which I think was her first American thing, called Oculus.
Oculus. Okay, I remember the name.
It was pretty good.
I don't think I've seen it.
Everyone gets these kind of mirror reflective eyes when they get got, and it's I really like that. Weirdly, it was a WWE film. Like, they funded it, but I don't think it had any of their guys in.
Strange.
But it was I quite like that. I think they made a shit sequel to it or something. I don't know that I ever saw it. But yeah, no, yeah.
Okay, and so those are our mains. Our main four: The Rock, Jack Black, Kevin Hart, and Karen Gillan. Who is it Gillan or Gillian? Gillan.
No, Gillen, sorry.
I didn't recognize her from Guardians and hadn't seen Doctor Who, so obviously in Guardians she's a bold blue person, so part robot type, assassin.
That's
person.
Interesting, actually, because you're probably indicative of a lot of people over there.
Yeah, probably.
Which I hadn't considered, because to me it's kind of like, oh, okay, she's doing quite well, but this is actually going to be her breakout thing for a huge amount of the audience.
Oh, certainly, yeah, I'd say so.
And I hadn't considered that, because people just won't know her name from Guardians. So even though she's been up there, they're not gonna know. That's something I really hadn't considered, because obviously, with the Doctor Who stuff, there's a certain section of the audience that's potentially going because she's in it.
Yeah, it's quite possible.
And then there's a whole mainstream audience that's going to arrive at her because of this.
Yeah.
Huh. Good for her.
That is good. Yeah. Hopefully it'll lead to. I thought she was great in this, so I think it'll lead to some bigger roles for her. I would hope.
Seems like a good egg, to be honest. I was never a fan of the era of Doctor Who she was in. I really wasn't. Apart from the Christmas specials, I really couldn't be bothered. Really only. Probably Oculus, actually.
Okay.
Where I sort of started giving a shit, because I think that was before Guardians. And then she's in Guardians, you're like, good for her. And then I guess the same sort of thing. Good for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Which era of Doctor Who was it? Obviously, I'm not a Whovian, as it were, so I don't. Matt Smith is the most recent one I'm aware of. Beyond that, I don't know anything.
I think she might have been. See, I want to say David Tennant, but I don't think that's true. I think she was introduced in the first Matt Smith episode.
Okay.
Initially as a child. And then so he sees her at different times in her life, and then she becomes a companion.
Oh, okay.
And then, now I think Emma is a bloody great Who fan, tried to explain this to me. She ends up being the mother of the woman who then becomes the Doctor's wife in the future.
Weird.
Yeah. Because of time travel. I think River Song, who is Alex. Oh, what's her name? Alex Thingy, who used to be in ER and stuff, but came from over here back in the 90s.
Okay.
Was the Doctor's wife in the future, but was this character who kind of dovetailed through a bunch of episodes. Pretty sure that her mother is Amy Pond, who is Karen Gillan. That's a very bad explanation of half-remembered Doctor Who storylines, but I think that's correct.
Okay, that's fine. So
if you want to get angry at me about it, you find me on Twitter.
At GAMFCast. Doesn't Kevin Hart, or is it Jack Black? No, Jack Black immediately gets eaten by a rhino, which I loved. It wasn't a rhino, but I think it was Kevin Hart's character was Mouse who said he got eaten by a rhino.
Yeah. Or
maybe Jack Black himself who said that. It was a hippo. And that's they don't figure it out then, but that's when the audience...
Wait. Doesn't Jack Black get eaten?
That's what I said, yeah.
Yeah, and Kevin Hart explains it.
Yeah. But he calls it a rhino.
You just said that the other way around.
No, Jack Black immediately gets eaten by a rhino.
Car Wars 3!
Well, oh, okay. One of them calls it a rhino, though.
Yeah. Also, later on, they have albino rhinos.
They do.
And albino rhino would have been a great 80s punk band name.
It really would have. Yeah, that's true.
And just imagine that logo.
That logo,
rhino.
Absolutely, yeah, it designs itself, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. But we at this point they've got the 3 bars on their
arms.
They
haven't figured out their life thing yet.
We figure out their lives right there and then, but they didn't figure it out until, at least I did.
There's a lot of that where I think either the audience is going to be ahead of it or it's pitching a bit younger than us. Obviously, I mean, it's not for us anyway.
No, that's true.
But I would say there's a whole lot of things like that where I was ahead of the film.
Mm-hmm.
And there was, I think it'll play better to. I did enjoy it, but I think it'll play slightly better to a younger audience who hasn't quite seen as much shit.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're probably right.
Really. There was a lot of moments like that where I felt like they were either giving certain members of the audience time to catch up, or they were just kind of like, we'll start dripping it, we'll do it at our speed, and they'll just come along for the ride if they want. But that was definitely one where I was ahead of it.
You could be completely right as well, because if I think about the like teenagers around now, or people in their mid to late teens right now, they've grown up in a world where video games, aside from like maybe mobile games, but even then, don't really have lives. So they might not call it straight away. Whereas a game from 1996 like this, like a Tomb Raider style game, like a Tomb Raider game now, I would imagine, doesn't have a concept of lives. You just, if you die, you start at a checkpoint. It's like every other game.
Right.
Whereas,
because someone says respawn at one point, don't they?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
was it
do.
the kid behind me who said respawn at one point?
I think they do. Either that or that kid was behind me as well. And that would be highly improbable.
Not impossible over the course of a week. He could have been on holiday.
That's true.
He's flown back into, Gloucester
He's on a ski
Airport
holiday, absolutely, and he's decided, I really need to see this again to see if the British cut's any different.
I'll take my parents to see it, even though I'm 8. They didn't come on my ski holiday. And now we'll go and see it with the parents.
You know, I misunderstood what this movie was because I remember seeing some kids come in and like fill the whole front row. It's like a group of kids, either a family or like a birthday party or something. And I was like, are they a bit too young for this? I was looking down at them being like, I feel like they might be a bit too young for this. But I was misunderstanding what the film was. I thought it was going to be kind of more along the line of, I didn't look at the rating because the ratings, it's, you have to actually actively seek out the ratings here. Whereas the BBFC logos in the UK are much more prominent. Whereas here, sure, it might say it before the trailer, but you don't get the card. There's no MPAA card like there's a BBFC. So I was thinking maybe it was
like it.
Yeah, maybe it was like a PG-13 or I didn't think an R, but I was thinking maybe it was for. I thought it was a nostalgia trip type thing, and that made me think they were going to play it a little bit older, but they didn't. So
where would you say the audience for it was? Because I would say in my screening there was. In the kids that had been brought by their parents, I would say there was everything from maybe 8 through to 14.
Yeah, that's about what I saw, and then there were a fair amount of probably 19 to 21-year-olds in there as well, and then people my age.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Apart from the parents.
Yeah. And I guess there are a couple of older couples as well, like in their mid to late 40s probably.
Okay.
One of whom was annoyingly voice texting during the trailers.
What?
Yeah.
Well, like, hey Siri, fucking text Pete, he's a dick or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Why would my brain go to that? I
wonder. Hi Pete.
Hi Pete. You're not listening. Actually, we were going to have him on for the second half of this, weren't we? But I never.
Oh yeah,
I never arranged that. Oh well, fuck him.
Dickhead. You know, a dickhead, Pete.
That's what he's in my phone as.
Yes, that's true.
That's what his phone calls him. That's apparently when when Siri goes, "Hey, Gerard," or whatever.
Captain Awesome Face. Yeah.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Nice. His goes, "Hey, dickhead," and he says, "I set that, and I have no memory."
Excellent.
But I love that happens.
So then Reese Darby shows up.
Yes. Hello, I am your guide to the game of Jumanji.
Yeah, as an NPC. Welcome to Jumanji! And his performance was very, very forward, but I thought it was appropriate for what his character turned out to be.
I liked it. I also like the doors on the Range Rover.
On the Land Rover, yeah. That was
Range
fun.
Rover. Then. No, Land Rover.
It was a Land Rover, yeah.
Yeah, it must have been Land Rover.
Yeah. And yeah, they're
long wheelbase.
Long wheelbase Defender, yeah. Which apparently they're bringing back.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Shit,
but it's going to be a redesign, I believe. It's not the original.
There's like 80 years of the original.
It's true, yeah.
I still will buy one of those just to take apart and put back together one day.
Just for fun?
Yeah, it's just I've always wanted one just to tinker with, just to ruin.
Fair enough. Get one of the 90s ones. I imagine they go fairly cheap these days.
It'll take itself apart.
Yeah, it's true. If you get it from like pre-94, before Jaguar Land Rover has been sold off, I think they're still owned by BAE, British Aerospace at that point, before around 94. Yeah, that's when they're really shit. That's when Rovers are crappy too. Not that they got much better, but anyway.
The Longbridge Hammer, or whatever it was called. Longbridge Screwdriver.
Yes. Yeah, which was a hammer, yeah.
Which was a hammer. I ruined that game. Well, they ruined the card, so fuck
them. So they're it's being explained to them. And then another thing that I think that will... I don't know, this is still a concept of levels in video games, really, isn't there? But not to the same extent as as is like not with a solid separation like.
Well, we see the kid playing on his PS4. We see him playing Street Fighter 5. Is it now? I forget now. The real kind of cel shaded kind of 3D one, and that's got levels. So I mean,
that's true. Yeah.
Depending on what kind of game you play, it doesn't all have to be your cinematic Resident Evil kind of thing.
No, that's true. That's a good point.
So there's enough. This is so cool. It's like old guys explain video games. It doesn't all have to be your kind of big cinematic sprawling sandbox.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So yeah, I think they get levels, but yeah, you quickly learn when you see the map and things that there's probably going to be levels.
Yeah. So one thing so right after they get dumped out of the Land Rover, they figure out the whole pressing their boob thing to get their player profile up or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they figure out their roles and everything. And I was like, I wish they hadn't put it in the trailer, but there's the whole weaknesses. Kevin Hart's weakness or Mouse's weakness is cake. One of his weaknesses is cake. But they put that in the one of the trailers that I saw. That was in it, where he eats the cake and explodes later on.
Okay, right. I suppose it's a good moment.
It is a good moment, but it would have been nicer if they hadn't put it in the trailer, because that would have been like, cake. What the hell is that supposed to be about?
How do you sell this to a modern audience without putting shit like that in? Because actually, if you break it down, like, not that much happens.
No, that's true.
I mean, it isn't, full of moments. So you kind of need to put all your kind of, like, the whole snake thing, like you can't put that in a trailer.
No, that's true.
It's just kind of nothing, really.
Yeah. Maybe it's like a 1 second image,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it was a tough movie to sell, to be honest.
Yeah, so, I think so too. Which kind of
managed to.
Yeah, it's impressive that they've managed to sell so widely. I mean, did it come out at the same time over there as it did here? I
would say similar. Give me 1 second. I will quickly double check, but I'm pretty sure it was just after Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah, just before here. It was December 20th.
20th, yeah, same.
Yeah, okay.
I knew it was a leftover from last year rather than what I can count as a film this year.
But it was still kind of busy, you said.
Incredibly so, actually. Considering I saw a picture on IG from my friend Paul, who took his boy and wife to see a preview of Coco, which was also this weekend.
Okay.
It opens next week, but a preview for this weekend, and apparently their cinema was dead.
Oh, wow.
So I assumed that Coco... I was thinking about doing a double bill earlier around the Science Oven, and Coco would have been the obvious one because I quite like to see it, but I assumed it'd be rammed because it was previews. But I'm guessing it might not have been, considering how busy the foyer was to how busy my screening was.
Interesting. So you think everyone into Jumanji, but not into Coco?
I think you've got Jumanji. You've got what else is still out? Star Wars is obviously still out. You've got
is Downsizing out over there?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I don't think we get it till February, actually.
Oh, really? Huh.
Fuck. What was the other one I was thinking of? Anyway, I can't remember what the other flick that's out that I was wondering if people were going to see. But they might just not have particularly well advertised the Coco preview.
Oh, could be, yeah.
Either that, or we could be. No, if it's out next Friday, it's not going to be early enough for a half term or anything yet, is it? So
no, that's true. That's like middle of February normally, isn't it?
Yeah, I was about to say, I wonder why they're releasing it here when they're releasing it then. Maybe just because there's nothing for kids around then and they think they can make enough.
Could well be. I
don't know. I'm quite looking forward to that anyway. I think it's going to be... from everything I've heard about the release over there, it's quite good.
Yes, that's what I've heard too. So we're introduced to a bad guy at this point, I think, aren't we?
Yeah, Bobby Cannavale.
Bobby Cannavale is kind of an arch bad guy and former partner of Dr. Smolder Bravestone.
Which is never really...
It's not explored in
addressed.
any detail, no.
Yeah.
Even at the end there, it's really not. There's just kind of like, oh, Smolder. That's it, really. And he's seized the tiger's eye, is that what it's called? Jaguar's eye.
Jaguar's eye, because they were jaguars.
It's a big...
Seems to be some sort of Cyclops jaguar.
Yes. Big gemstone. No, he's like a new romantic jaguar. His right eye's covered with hair, but it's actually just moss. Edit.
No, you leave that in.
Okay.
You leave that and you put in some, like, wind blowing and some tumbleweed and a bell tolling.
Tonk.
Boom.
Tonk.
Boom. That gag did not land. No, I wanted to laugh, but I didn't because I thought it would be funnier if I just leave silence.
And
the lady behind me, who I think was the mother of the 8-year-old,
yeah,
really, really didn't like any of the stuff with Bobby Cannavale and the spider or the centipede or the scorpion. Like anytime there was stuff crawling around on him, she was like,
the rats.
You know, like.
It gives him control of all the animals in Jumanji, right?
Even when he doesn't have the gem, I thought that was a bit weird because, like, the curse thing was very inconsistent. But then video games, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Because for most of the movie, they have the gem.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't the NPC give it to him? Doesn't Rhys Darby give it to him at the start?
Yeah, because he's stolen it, which is where you see the flashback of because he's working with them.
Right.
And like, I used to be working with them, and now I'm not working with them. I don't know where he's from. It's not from New Zealand.
Neither does he in this movie, to be honest with you, because he's got a little bit of the New Zealand, but like not a lot.
He does this kind of weird floaty Flight of the Conchords voice. I quite like it.
Yeah, I like it's kind of hyper real and it's enjoyable.
Yeah. I like it when he's announcing lines over and over again. Like,
that's fun. Yeah.
Say its name.
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing like the little rhyme, and it just kind of says it over and over again because they're not leaving that area. Again, a joke that might be lost on the younger audience because the video game logic has gotten smarter now. Maybe I'm not sure.
I don't know, because the more I think about it, the more if you go to arcades or if you play fighting games and stuff, they haven't really changed.
No, that's true. The graphics
and those games
improved.
are still
That's
selling.
it. Yeah,
it's
true.
It's unless you're playing like a GTA 5 and stuff. Like there's enough games that are still similar mechanics, but it's not going to be. Yeah, some people are going to be. I wish actually we could have brought on like a Bailey or someone to chat about this as well. Someone who's of an age.
Yeah.
Who would have a different perspective on this, but
that would have been interesting.
Yeah, I think there's probably enough for them to get it, but they might not have seen enough of it that they get it that quickly.
Right, yeah, it'll take a while to catch on. So like the second time the line gets repeated, like the cake vendor or whatever, that's when they'll pick up on it rather than straight away. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, like this could be their first shitty video game, fucking Mario Brothers piece of shit.
Yeah,
whereas we had 20 years of that.
Yeah, precisely. It's so, but then it just kind of proceeds, right? I think we get a couple of levels where they're trying to get through the game to the bazaar, which is their first stopping point.
Yeah, you get the market, and then you have to fight all the dudes.
Yeah,
and they're on bikes and run and whatever
explosions and running and Kevin Hart's slow and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff, and then they have to defang their first sort of level boss, I suppose. I like what they did in the. Oh no, it's after the. Is it before or after the snake? Oh, I can't remember, but they have that run-in with Bobby Cannavale in the market, and then something separates them, so they can't fight him just then.
Yes.
I think it is after. Happens, or someone's like run or whatever, and it's just like something stops them. And I was like, yeah, they can't fight him yet. He's the end of the game boss,
right? Isn't it?
So there's going to be
our fifth player, isn't that who distracts them and then
it is. So it's after the snake. You're right.
It is after the snake. Yeah,
they defang the snake, which proves their abilities and stuff. And proves that they need each other, which didn't feel very video gamey because, in theory, most of these games you could have still played as a single player.
Yes,
there would have been a way, but this game definitely needs one character to wait 20 years for 4 more characters.
Yeah,
so that it can be so the third level can be achieved.
Right, but it's a Magic board game video game, so
there's a lot of
just deal with it.
There's a lot of things you can explain with it's a Magic board game video game.
There really is. There really are a lot of things. And he doesn't realize, like, obviously time doesn't move the same way in the video game as it does outside. So
I've been here for months.
Right, yeah, he's been there for months, but it turns out he's been there 20 years. And then the one of my favorite scenes happens after that, which is where Jack Black teaches Karen Gillan how to be sexy.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people like that.
That was pretty fun. I mean, it was.
There's one bit before then.
Okay.
Where
you got a note?
Yeah, I have got a note, and that's why I'm going to. Well, there's a bit where they piss.
Oh yeah, and it's
Jack Black pisses for the first time.
Yeah,
and he says, "Oh, this is so much easier." And all the women in the screening laugh.
Yes, exactly. The same thing happened here.
Yeah, and there's a bit where they're walking around the rocks, and they sort of all get rid of another life by fighting a bit.
Yeah,
and and there's a bit where they have a little character development beat between Bethany and Martha, where Bethany's coming out a little bit, and she's kind of like, well, maybe you're just pushing everyone away, like she's less of a plastic or whatever you want to call it. And maybe it's because, you just decide everyone already hates you, so you push them away because of whatever. And the guy behind me, the dad of the 8-year-old, just went, yeah. I was kind of like, what? Why is he responding so well to that? But he was just like,
Maybe he's got a teenage daughter who's all narcissistic and Instagrammy. And she wouldn't come to this stupid movie.
It was the smart kid, wasn't it, who was all kind of like, I'm so far up my own arse, and I'm so much better than everyone else, but I have like literally no self-confidence.
Yeah,
it was so weird. But it was just that little weird, like
yeah, definitely.
It was just that he responded to that was so
like the sincerity.
Yeah, it was just. I kind of almost wanted to turn around and be like,
"You want to talk about this afterwards?"
Why do you? Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh, but before that, doesn't she lose a life when she gets bitten by a mosquito when they go off the edge of the cliff? And she just explodes in like a little shower of blood. Karen Gillan does. So there's a first...
That happens later on to Nick Jonas, doesn't it? Because his is... No, because there's...
No, it's not. It's Venom that she gets bitten by something.
I didn't think that was ever addressed, because I'm surprised. I felt like there was something missing from the spider. Not the spider, sorry, the snake scene.
No, it does get addressed, because there's that... After they get rid of Rhys Darby, there's all the guys with motorbikes come on and they run into the forest, and they end up...
Oh, yeah, but she's been shot.
Of a cliff.
She's been shot at that point.
She must have been shot with something that had venom, because that's one of her weaknesses. And because she just says venom, and then she explodes into like... Oh,
shit. Then sorry. I took that as she'd just been shot, and obviously she was both susceptible to venom, but and also, bullets. Fucking bullets. Because bullets are... Because there seemed to be something about reinforcing the venom bit for later, missing in the snake scene where he goes, "Oh yeah, be careful of its venom and its venomous pouches, which are also exposed to whatever."
Right.
And then she was just kind of like, "Whatevs."
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit. I'm invisible, bitch. I'm gonna run away from it.
Yeah. The running was kind of fun. I enjoyed the side shots of running. They were very video gamey.
Yeah, I liked all the running. I thought it was interesting with him kind of, and then even Jack Black was overtaking Kevin Hart, and everyone else was fucking laughing. Why am I going so slow? Whatever he said. But yeah, okay. So if it was a venom-laced bullet or whatever, that was wonky, but okay, that tried to reinforce it, but I missed it.
Yeah,
and I usually notice that stuff.
Sure, it wasn't done super well, I guess.
No, I feel like the snake scene should have reinforced the venom thing for when she's there with a million snakes at the end.
Right. Yeah, I mean that should have been where
spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, well, spoilers. Yeah. rather than doing that earlier on, where she lost the life and exploded after falling off the cliff and getting in out of the water, they should have just left it until then. And when Mouse is like ripping out one of its fangs, which really disturbed me. By the way, I didn't like that at all.
He did it so quick.
He did, and it was horrible. I just like teeth things. I don't even with a snake. I empathize. It could have just been like a piece, like a little drop of venom flies off the tip of the fang as he's ripping it out, lands on her. She looks at it, explodes, and then there you go. You've got your reinforcement, and it's more obvious. But anyway,
yeah, that's where I would have done it if I was writing this thing.
Yeah, if you're one of the 20.
Not that I would have even thought of this. I mean, in that respect, actually, like I'm not going to rail too hard on this because I did have a lot of fun with it. But it did feel like no one had a hard idea for this. Like they just kind of went, well, the property has kind of like value.
Yeah, let's make it a video game.
What would modern like it felt a bit by committee in that respect.
It did. That's true.
And I think some of the levity and stuff was, if you look at the credits, there's a few people in there who've done sitcoms and things like.
Okay.
And I should think some of the actors who played teachers and some of the comedy stuff came from that sort of line of things.
Could be, yeah, that makes sense.
So, like, it's trying to fight to be good and interesting while actually being something that's a bit more
general
packaged
appeal.
and put together.
Yeah, I did quite like the whole smouldering thing that the Rock would do occasionally. We just kind of look into the middle distance. That was quite fun. And we did get an eyebrow as well at one point at the very start.
The first one we got was that like
Yeah.
The proper old school eyebrow, which is the first time in a while, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I quite enjoyed it.
And it always did that little sort of musical bed thing, didn't it?
Yeah.
Every time he smoldered, it was kind of
yeah,
or whatever.
Smoldering intensity.
Which in the trailer, I swear there was like a hawk in the distance, but that might be me putting it there. So every time he smoldered, there was like a, which was
nice.
Something they did in Hail Caesar. If you didn't see that one, that's worth seeing.
I didn't. I wanted to see it. I remember the trailers for it, and it looked great.
Didn't do well, but I really loved
terribly,
it. I think
it
was my film of the year for a very long time that year, but I think it placed number 3 or something in the end. But anytime there was a film that had tragically gone wrong in the past, had exposed something, and any time the title of it was said, there were seagulls in the distance. It was like on wings as eagles, and you'd always hear like in the distance, and it was such a beautiful thing. And I thought they were going to do something like that in there, but it was a bit simple.
What if we told the truth about on wings as eagles?
That's fun. I like that. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the running joke in Demolition Man. Whenever anyone swears, you hear the fine golf in the background. Yeah. I
like that too.
Indeed.
Where do we go next? We introduce Nick Jonas, don't we?
Yeah, Nick Jonas gets introduced, and they go to his like hidey hole type place where he's living, where he's got the citronella candles and stuff to keep the mosquitoes away.
Was the other name there? Was that Robin Williams?
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe could well have been.
It was like Alan something or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Let me quickly check that. That's the only thought I had coming off the back of that was a reference to the first movie that I didn't remember.
Yeah.
It was like Alan... Alan Parrish. Yeah, I'm going to guess that was...
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
so
Alan
Kristen
Parrish.
Dunst was one of the kids in there?
Protagonist of... Yeah, it is. It says it in the Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
Yes, it's treehouse built by previous player Alan Parrish, protagonist of Jumanji.
Okay, there you go. Oh, you've actually got the story there as well, so you can keep us on track.
Yes,
because we're already wildly off track, I think, with this.
But then so it turns out that he's been stuck at this level because he needs the skills of the other players, and it's what do they call it? The
Transport shed.
Transport shed, that's it.
Which is, I think that's from several video games, because it was one of those terms I knew was kind of like, I think there was a transport shed in Resident Evil or Silent Hill or...
It feels like a Metal Gear Solid thing maybe as well.
It could have been Metal Gear, yeah.
Yeah. So they essentially need their combined skills, and that's where one of Karen Gillan's characters, whose character name is Ruby Roundhouse.
Roundhouse. I was about to say Ruby Riot, but that's a current WWE lady.
Oh, okay.
Ruby Roundhouse.
One of her Killer of men, yes. But one of her other things is one of her skills is dance fighting.
Yeah.
And so we get the scene where she dance fights the two guards who just repeat things over and over again.
Ooh, baby, I love you.
Yeah.
Every day.
Which is a super 90s song. Is it Aswad or someone like that?
Oh shit.
I think it says it in the film even.
No, I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah.
What I want to say is
like level something.
Not wrong and incredibly wrong. I mean, I already got Pink Floyd and Excess mixed up then.
True.
It was da 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 da.
Well, UB40 did a cover of it.
That's who it is.
Is it?
That version is the UB40.
The UB40 version?
Yeah, or at least that's the one I predominantly remember. 1994, Big Mountain did a version of it as well.
Every day, yeah.
Yeah, it's the UB40 version.
Yeah, there you go.
Who are from my hometown.
City.
Yes, City. Well, they're also from. I think they're from Balsall Heath, even, which is like right where I grew up. So, anywho,
so I think the Peter Frampton song must be a different song.
Okay.
Because there's no UB40 reference on this whole page. Anyway, back to the point.
So they.
Ooh, baby, I love you. The song was covered by American reggae pop band Big Mountain in 1994. Oh no, wait! This version is also played in the 2000 film Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle during 2 fight sequences. Okay. So it's the Big Mountain version.
All right then.
Why is UB40 not mentioned on this at all?
Maybe someone on YouTube got it wrong.
Every day,
yeah. So weird. Anyway, either way.
So either way's fine.
Either way's fine.
So they get the helicopter after the dance fighting happens. They get into the helicopter and have to convince him to fly it because he's on his last life. Is the reason that he's been so stuck is that he's on his last life, and the fear is that you die in this, you die in real life.
Which they never actually say.
No,
but that's the assumption you jump to from the very beginning.
Right, exactly. It's kind of implied, or at least you infer it. So they successfully get that, and they're flying the helicopter up a canyon, and that's where we get the albino rhinos.
Yeah, the whirligig goes wrong, and you have to fix the whirligig, and then it has to fly on the level of the canyon, and the rhinos are coming after you, and then the thing falls out, and then...
I quite like the way the rhinos... So Kevin Hart drops the Jaguar's eye out of his little pouch.
Because he's drunk. We haven't addressed that.
He's drunk.
Kevin
He's
Hart.
drunk, isn't he? Yeah. What is it? Oh,
hey, drunk? I'm drunk. Yeah. I'm drunk. I just had 3 margaritas. I'm drunk. It's like,
that's
like
margaritas.
The size you used to be.
I love the way the Rock and Karen Gillan both hate the taste of the margaritas.
Yeah, the way they go over, it's really nice.
Yeah. That's pretty amusing.
Yeah, I like that
because they're both nerds, you see.
Yeah.
And
they can't help their liquor.
This is right. This is right.
If you can guess what that's from and find the clip, I will be amazed.
Challenge accepted.
I don't think it's even the right words. I think it's
really
they can't hold their smoke. I think is the actual quote.
Oh, okay. I definitely don't know that. So, yeah, and then essentially just I feel like we're rushing through it, but you're right. Now I think about it, not a whole lot really happens in this
for like
film.
more than an hour.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, it is. The quote, if you want to go looking for it, is "Chicks can't hold a smoke."
Okay, all right.
Chicks cannot hold a smoke. That's what it is.
And so they get through to the last stage at this point, right?
Because he's tried with a hot air balloon and some other piece of shit before that.
Yeah, hot air balloon and like a fighter plane or something like that, and gets shot down. Yeah. And they get to the final level, but the twist right there is that he's been bitten by a mosquito, and then is it Jack Black? Yes, Jack. Yeah, Bethany gives him one of his lives.
Yeah, because they're doing mouth to mouth, and hers is fading out, and his is coming back. Or whatever.
Yes.
Had you called him at this point as obviously the kid from the? No, they've already done it by this point, haven't they? They've already addressed who he is.
Because of his language usage, where he's like
nerdy, red.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which just felt a bit telegraphed and a bit clumsy.
Yeah, it was. It was
especially coming out of Nick Jonas's. Is it Nick Jonas? Yeah, Nick Jonas's mouth because he's like way young.
Forced generational disparity.
Exactly.
I was in proper film criticism mode where I made some.
Oh, really?
Notes. Yeah. So,
but I think they all have one life left at this point, don't they? Or no?
They're all down to one. Then that becomes an issue later on. I was interested how they. No, actually, they're not all down to one.
No, because
later on, I had to question whether there was a point where something was about to happen. I was kind of like, oh, does Martha have another life? Or is she,
that was what I was thinking. Yeah. I thought one of them was going to die. I thought that was going to be the way it was going to go, but yeah. I mean, spoilers. No, that didn't happen. So, but yeah, because she's got 3 lives. No, that doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, no, it does. So
she's still got 2.
She's got 2, and everyone else has got 1. I think.
Apart from Martha, who they've hidden at this point. But anyway, she's the one who dives in and wants to kiss sweet Nick Jonas's face.
Right, that's true. Yes, yeah, and
she's all like, "Oh, Nick Jonas."
Yeah, lucky Nick.
And then it's followed by a hard-on gag.
Oh, you're right. It is, isn't it?
Which the kid behind me was just like, "Huh? What do they mean?" And the dad just no-sold it.
Never mind.
He's just kind of like, I'm not replying. It'll go away. Which was like, I think I mentioned it on the Spider-Man Homecoming we did, but the porno gag in Spider-Man Homecoming, when Owen turned to Adam and was kind of like, "What's porn?"
Yeah.
And Adam was just like,
"Didn't hear you. This movie's too loud."
Look, the film's still on. Like just like if we address it, it's going to come back later.
Marvelous.
Leave it. He'll forget about it in 2 seconds. There'll be some other shiny thing.
And so they've got to get through the jungle filled with the CG Jaguars at this point. to get to the giant stone jaguar to put the eye back.
Is it straight into that? Yeah, I think it is straight.
I think so, yeah, because it all of a sudden becomes night.
Yeah.
Which is very video game-esque again. You know, this is a night level. And yeah, the fairly standard action fare, and I quite the twist where Martha, not Martha, yeah, Martha goes up and into the snakes, and she's facing off with Bobby Cannavale, and then sacrifices herself and gets caught and all that sort of stuff was
yeah, because she knows by that point that you will respawn still having the Jaguar's eye because someone else did it earlier on.
Yeah,
because Rock had it, didn't he? He died. And then, so he still had 2 lives, actually.
He did.
When he respawned, he still had it, so they know you respawn with it, so she'll come through the air, and then they can do a sweet kind of like... And they've already confessed their, like, sweet love for each other at this point.
They have. Their
awkward high school kissing.
That was extremely painful, and I just imagine there are some fairly fun bloopers from that. Yeah. Oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
Of course he has 2 lives, because he gets mauled by a jaguar, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because he tries to go through the trees. Because when you see the elephant go through the trees or whatever, he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it. I'm the fucking Brock. You all wait here."
Yeah. Ah!
And then that doesn't really work out. And then they all like, the only way we can win is teamwork.
As a team, yay!
Let's do it together. And so they weirdly do one of Fridge's football plays or whatever.
Yeah.
Which just seems like just wildly running at random through the forest to me.
It did. It didn't. Yeah, there seemed like there was no coordination at all, really.
Yeah.
But fine.
Yeah, that's reasons.
Yeah, exactly, reasons. So they replace the Jaguar's eye, and then Rhys Darby shows back up, and we get the touching moment where they shake his hand to get out of the game.
Yeah,
I was thinking they were going to kill Nick Jonas.
I thought at different points they were going to kill pretty much all of them, actually, and I would have been. I don't know. I would have been okay with it. But it would have worked within the moments of character development that we had at the time.
True.
Yeah, I just because I thought he was either going to sacrifice himself to do it so the rest of them could get out, or the 36-year-old child was going to be like, "No, I've been gone too long. It won't make sense."
I've got
kind
nothing to go back to. Was what I was thinking. Yeah.
Or the vacuous girl was going to be kind of like, "No, here I can have meaning," or whatever.
Yeah. Just remember me. Oh, that was the other trailer we got. We got a trailer for a movie called Bugger. What was it called?
It's called Bugger.
Bugger. No, it's a volleyball movie about a girl who dies, and we got to win the championship for her.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it looks.
Is she a ghost in it? Is it a ghost
bullshit.
Volleyball movie?
No, I don't think so. No.
She's but with a ghost.
No, because she's like a character at the start of the movie, and then she tragically dies.
Okay.
But
that said, no one steal the Teen Wolf with a ghost movie. Ghost Wolf.
It's called the Miracle Season.
Oh God! Is that a religious film of any kind? Or
I was kind of thinking it might be, but I don't think it is. Let me look. Yeah, because it's got like no one in it as well, so at least no one I recognize. There might be someone from some teen stuff. Nesta Cooper. No. It's called. So the main character in it's called Line because she's Caroline, so she's Line. Do it for Line. God. It looks horrible.
What was the movie called?
The Miracle Season. It was shot in Canada.
What a shock! See if I know any of these folks in this.
Based on the true story of Iowa City West High School student. A week before her senior year began, so it's one of those based on real events type thing, inspired by. No, it looked so unpleasantly saccharine.
Yeah, Sean McNamara directed it. Who is the director of Nothing I Know?
Doesn't have a Wikipedia page yet.
It's always a good sign.
Yeah.
No, don't recognize her from anything. She was in Supernatural and...
Oh, okay. I was trying to find out what studio it's from, but I can't seem to.
Oh, Riverdale? It's got one of the Riverdale kids in it.
Oh, okay.
That's a big deal now.
I've heard things about that. Yeah, I've never seen it.
One of the ones from Heroes? Nah.
Okay.
I assume it's
Anywho, that's the kind of thing that I was thinking might happen as well. She might sacrifice herself, or Martha sacrificed herself, and always remember me as your first love, or that kind of nonsense.
People are what's important. Yeah.
Right, exactly. But it didn't.
But
everyone,
I don't know. Yeah.
Everyone got out and learned their lessons, and happy ending.
Yay!
And now they're all friends as well, and they've all grown as people.
They've all grown as people. And when they get out and they walk down the street towards their home, the streets are lined with Christmas decorations, which I don't think were there when we went into the game.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't remember seeing them. But then
they had sort of blow up reindeer and shit.
Huh. Oh, and it kind of seems like the family's coming back from Christmas shopping almost, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe there's a tree on the roof even, I'm thinking.
Yeah, when the car shows up with
Colin Hanks in
Chet
it.
Mansley or whatever.
Yeah.
Chet Mansley. Isn't he was he from Faith No More? Anyway. I think I've made this joke before. I think I've used Chet Mansley as a name on here before. But they're walking down and there's Christmas decorations, and the kid behind me was like, "Those are way better than ours," and I was kind of like, "Oh yeah, it's some Christmas." But the school pillars did have lights around them at the start.
Okay, huh? I don't
So I
remember
think
that
that's
at all.
as close as you're going to get.
They really didn't play that up.
No,
It's almost like
you go.
Sorry, it's almost like they kind of we'll CG snow in later because we're shooting in California, and they didn't.
I was thinking when they came back out and there were Christmas decorations and stuff, like, oh, they've been gone a while. It was like big.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The kid comes home after months.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, oh, it's Christmas now. But that's not what they were going for at all. It was actually kind of cack-handed. So.
Yeah, no time had passed. Their punishments just kind of went away, and everything was all right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It wasn't addressed. It was because they had to finish that on the next day, on Saturday or whatever, if they didn't get it done.
Yeah.
But the game spat you out back where you came. So Chet Mansley, who was played by your man Colin Hanks, who when he showed up, I was kind of like, "Hey, Colin Hanks!"
Yeah, I mean, it's weird that he was like, it's such a small role.
Yeah, I guess he just showed up because like he's friends with people.
That's what I was thinking because I heard someone else said that they were like, it seems like a small role for Colin Hanks, and it's like, yeah, well, maybe he knows the director or something.
I was about to say Jake Kasdan has done enough sitcoms that they probably overlapped.
Yeah.
At some point. Give me 1 sec. I will tell you exactly where they know each other from.
That's the director.
Yeah. There's no obvious one, unless he wasn't in Ben and Kate, was he?
Is he related to the Lawrence Kasdan guy? The guy who's doing all the
it's his son.
Star Wars stuff? Oh, really? Okay. Huh.
I think that's right, anyway. Hang on a minute.
Oh, yeah, it is. I see now.
Actually, nothing obvious that they would have... Oh, no, he directed Orange County. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Okay, the quintessential Colin Hanks movie.
Yeah.
For me, at least.
Him and Jack Black were off to great careers after that, weren't they? 50% success rate.
And yeah, I mean, and then it pretty much ends, right? Was there a foreshadowing for another movie? I can't even remember.
I didn't stay till the end of the credits to see, but they smashed the video game thing with the bowling ball.
That's it. They did. That was
in a weird.
Why would a school need a bowling ball? Yeah, that was from.
Yeah, and then they use that to smash the game.
Yeah,
and then they're done after that. Really.
Yeah.
And then you get like "Welcome to the Jungle," which I was waiting for.
Yes.
It was just some point they're going to play Guns N' Roses during this.
Oh, they got
I'm
to.
either going to be okay with that, or I'm going to be like, ugh.
Yeah, because if they'd done it during a douchey action scene, it would have been terrible.
Yeah, imagine the helicopters or whatever.
Yeah.
Welcome to the jungle. We're going to kill the albino rhinos.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it in the time as I've as it stewed since I watched it. I'm kind of less inclined to watch it again. But it was fine. It was fine.
I liked it. I mean, it was fun. I had enough fun with it.
I laughed enough. Yeah.
I'll probably forget at some point about its existence.
Yeah, probably. Oh yeah, they did a Jumanji sequel, didn't they? Huh,
yeah. I know, but I might fall into it on like Channel 4 on a Sunday afternoon at some point.
Sure. Yeah, I could see that.
My last two notes, if you want them.
I would love them.
When I forget when it is now because I've ticked off my notes as I've said them, but there's a bit where Nick Jonas, because I can't remember his character name or real name,
Seaplane
McFly Hard is is talking about women, and he goes, "Well, she's no Cindy Crawford."
Yes, yes.
And I wrote down, I had a Cindy Crawford poster.
I had a Cindy Crawford crush in the early 90s.
Everyone did.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the right thing to do. Yeah.
And so they set something up that I'm kind of awkward with, and I'm not really sure that they handled it particularly well. But at the end of this film, is Colin Hanks about to start having an affair with a teenager?
Hadn't thought about that, but that's kind of implied, isn't it? A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
They did that thing where it's like, yeah, we named the girl Bethany after the girl who saved me, but like in the game, they were pretty much kind of like
they were digging one another. That's true.
They really were. Wow. I mean, Jack Black had that full blown hard on for.
Yeah, that's true. And they only live a few houses away, probably.
Really do.
Yeah, I hadn't considered that, but I think they did. Yeah.
Also, how much else has changed in the last 20 years? There's a giant paradox happening here.
There really is.
The universe they existed never existed.
No, that's true. That's true. Yeah, because if that freak house isn't there, then there's nowhere for them to meet to give them the paper. Yeah, I mean, it does. A lot of this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they're in a parallel universe.
They are. They're in an alternate time stream.
Yeah, one of them is going to get home and their parents don't exist.
Yeah, that's true.
Or they didn't exist, or they're going to go to a room that isn't theirs.
Have a brother that they don't remember or something.
Yeah, their Dave and Buster's cup is going to be gone.
Yeah.
Where'd Dave get Buster's cup?
Yeah. It's Buster and Dave's now.
What?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Sony never got into the video game market. PlayStation flopped. They got a
Nintendo and he doesn't know how to use it.
No.
Analog sticks.
No, it's an Atari Jaguar. Because of game. Come on.
That surely the Atari Jaguar came out long before this.
No, it was mid '90s. It was a PlayStation rival that flopped.
Was it? Yeah. I feel like that was all like much earlier.
Maybe it was.
But yeah, I'll give you. It was good. It was a good joke, but I decided to go with the.
Yeah,
cricket.
Thanks. 94, so 2 years before.
And it was dead by
96.
Really?
It says discontinued in 1996.
Wow. So yes, that would have been. Was that disc based or was that was disc?
No, it's cartridges.
Was that still cartridges?
Yeah.
Then it should have been a Jaguar because that would have put so much more into the whole thing.
Yeah, but we don't own Atari.
Oh, we don't own Atari. They're all in Blade Runner and shit.
Yeah. the caveman face.
We don't own Atari. Our games were on CDs. We literally pioneered this, but for some reason we went with a cartridge. And wood paneling.
Yeah, wood paneling. So yeah, I mean, we don't do recommendations, but it was fine. I enjoyed it in the time. I don't know if I don't know if I'll necessarily.
It's making a shit ton of money, so
yeah,
it's gonna
absolutely. There probably might be another one. Who knows?
No one needs our bloody.
No.
Whatchamacallits on it. I'm just going to quickly look it up on Box Office Mojo.
What would they do from here, though? If they did
if you want to make it I don't know. I kind of wanted to stay to the end of the credits, but I just wanted to go and buy my side.
I think I did, and there was nothing there.
Oh, really? Okay. Jumanji. Oh, Jumanji hangs on to number one spot over MLK Weekend, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Topping 4 new releases. Holy shit.
Wow.
So it has a... where are we here? Budget of 90 million, which is actually quite cheap.
Yeah, it is.
Domestic gross of 283 as of 14th of Jan, which is what, Friday?
Yeah.
So it would have done another. Probably would have cracked 300 this weekend, I would think.
Yeah, and this is probably worldwide. According to Wikipedia, it's made a 666.2 million.
That's what I'm looking at on Box Office Mojo.
Okay.
So, and that would have been as of Friday, so it's probably jumped up again. And if it's beat 4 new releases in this weekend, which were the post, I don't know, but I still want to see it, and I might still slot it in before it's done.
We're going to go see that tomorrow, actually.
I don't know. I've only seen 2 films this year, and we're now 2 weeks into the year, and that seems very low for me.
Yeah, it does. That's the same amount as I've seen, and that's not normally far outstripping me. I've seen this. I saw Jumanji and Downsizing. That's the other film I saw.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that in time as well.
Yeah.
I saw this, and I saw Molly's Game.
Oh, okay.
Which is quite good.
I kind of want to see the post. Actually, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'll see the post. I think we get that in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The Commuter I might see. It depends. It depends if I go and see like 3 in a row, like one Sunday or something, or go after work and catch 2.
Yeah.
Like I've got to take this broken computer in on Thursday again, and so I'll probably catch something then because I'll just be downstairs from the Solihull one.
Yeah.
Apparently you got Paddington 2 this weekend as well.
Yes,
so
we
that's
did.
worth going and checking out.
I haven't seen the first one, so I need to see that.
I think it'll be fine. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, if you get a chance to slot it in, but it'll be fine backwards as it is forwards, I would think.
Yeah. I've been thinking about getting this movie pass thing. Have you heard about that? Is that...
I have heard about that.
Yeah, so it's, for those who don't know, it's $9.95 a month, month to month, and you're able to go to films at your discretion, pretty much. I think is there a limit of how many you can do?
I really hope the last Hollywood original musical was South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
That would be amazing. One a day, so you can go and see.
I did know it was one a day, actually.
Yeah,
because one of the guys on one of the other podcasts I listened to was talking about it, and it is one a day.
One a day, and
because he was saying he lives right opposite a cinema.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, which is fine by me. I tend to prefer 2D, so
not quite as good as the Cineworld thing I get. But,
no, it's unlimited,
which is just like, yeah, it's literally called unlimited.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Yeah. Hang on a minute, I'll show you the code.
Very nice.
That's my picture.
Oh, so it is. That's a great picture. That's fantastic.
From a long time ago, but still kind of like, there was the point, because they're supposed to look at the picture, and they almost never do. And for a while, like it was like you knew who looked at the picture because they started laughing. And I was like, yeah, well done. You looked at the picture. You did your job properly. Yeah, I should think it's a bit of a juggernaut. This it's just a little bit of a for everyone, I suppose.
I think so too. Yeah,
and that's probably it's in a time of divisive shit. That's probably going to be its
major selling point. Yeah,
major selling point. So
okay, we done on that?
Yeah, I think we're done on that.
Okay.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Thanks for listening, listeners. So yes, apparently Mark has some kind of surprise for us next week. I don't know. Yeah. Tune in to find out, I suppose, because I don't even have an inkling as to what it might be. But until then, please do listen to us and like us on all of our social medias. We are at Instagamf on Instagram. Just GAMF Podcast on Facebook. Just search for GAMFT, GAMF, because that T is silent, remember. We are at GAMFcast on Twitter. And... friend us on LinkedIn and Friendster, Friends Reunited, Bungle, Clomph, and Dubo. Until next week, bye!